Sarah and Daniel booked a cabin for one quiet weekend. By sunrise, the cabin no longer existed online. The host profile was gone. The booking receipt had disappeared. And the only proof they had left was an 8-minute video neither of them remembered recording. For the first 7 minutes, the screen was completely black. But in the final 60 seconds, the camera turned toward the mirror and showed someone standing behind them. Someone who had never entered the room. Someone who had been inside the house the entire time. This is the story of the Airbnb basement door, and the one rule Sarah and Daniel should never have ignored. Sarah found the cabin late on a Wednesday night. She had been scrolling through rental listings for almost an hour, looking for somewhere quiet. Somewhere far away from work, messages, noise, and everything that had been making her relationship with Daniel feel heavier each week. Then she saw it. A small wooden cabin in the middle of the forest. No neighbors, no traffic, no city lights. Just pine trees, a black lake, and a stone fireplace. The photos looked perfect. Warm windows, clean wooden floors, a cozy bedroom upstairs, and a front porch that faced the water. The reviews were almost too good. Peaceful, private, unforgettable. But the line that made Sarah stop scrolling was in the description. Perfect for anyone who wants to disappear for a weekend. She smiled when she read it. It sounded dramatic, maybe even romantic. So she booked it. A few minutes later, the host messaged her. Her name was Evelyn. Her profile photo showed an older woman with silver hair and a soft, kind smile. The message was simple. Check-in was at 4. The key would be under the black lantern by the front door. And then, at the very end, Evelyn added one more instruction. Please do not open the basement door. Sarah laughed and showed Daniel. Daniel looked at the screen and said, "That is exactly how every horror movie starts." Sarah smiled back. Good thing we're not in a horror movie. But less than 24 hours later, neither of them would be laughing. They arrived just before sunset. The drive had already made Daniel uncomfortable. The main road turned into a side road. The side road turned into gravel. Then the gravel road narrowed until the trees bent over the car like a tunnel. Their phone signal vanished. The GPS froze. And for the last few miles, the only things ahead of them were headlights, forest, and fog. Then the cabin appeared. It looked exactly like the pictures. Small, quiet, beautiful. A warm porch light glowed in front of the door. Behind the house, the lake sat perfectly still. But when Daniel turned off the engine, the silence felt wrong. Not peaceful, not relaxing. Wrong. The forest was too quiet. No insects, no birds, no wind. Just the cabin waiting at the end of the road. Sarah said it was beautiful. Daniel only nodded. Then he said, "It feels like nobody's been here in years." The key was under the black lantern, just like Evelyn had promised. Inside, the cabin was spotless. The pillows were perfectly arranged. The kitchen counters were clean. The firewood had been stacked neatly beside the fireplace. Everything looked ready for them. Almost too ready. On the table was a handwritten note. Sarah picked it up. It said, "Welcome, Sarah and Daniel. Please make yourselves at home." Then, underneath that, in smaller handwriting, "The house likes quiet guests." Sarah read that line twice. Daniel leaned over her shoulder. "That's weird." Sarah tried to make a joke. She probably just means no parties. but she didn't sound convinced. As they unpacked, Daniel found a narrow hallway behind the kitchen. At the end of it was a dark green wooden door. It blended into the wall so well that Sarah almost missed it. A small brass lock hung from the handle. Daniel pointed at it. That must be the basement. Sarah stepped closer. The air near the door felt colder than the rest of the house. She touched the lock and pulled her hand away immediately. It was freezing. Daniel noticed. What? Sarah looked at the door. Nothing. It's just cold. Daniel smiled. Don't tell me you want to open it. Sarah shook her head. No. But she kept looking at the door. And that was the first mistake. That night, everything seemed normal at first. They made dinner, opened a bottle of wine, started a fire. For almost an hour, the cabin felt exactly like the listing had promised. Quiet, warm, private. Then, at exactly 9:17, the first knock came. 3 slow knocks. Not from the front door, not from a window, from beneath the floor. Knock, knock, knock. Sarah stopped eating. Daniel looked down. Neither of them spoke. Then it happened again. Knock, knock, knock. Sarah whispered, "Did you hear that?" Daniel nodded. Probably pipes, but there was no confidence in his voice. A few minutes passed. Nothing else happened. The cabin became silent again. Daniel forced a laugh and said old houses made sounds. Sarah wanted to believe that, so she did, for another hour. At 10:42, the kitchen light flickered. Once, twice, then it went out. Only the kitchen, the rest of the cabin stayed lit. Daniel stood up to check the switch. As he walked away, Sarah heard something from the hallway. A whisper. Very soft, almost too quiet to be real. A woman's voice. Don't. Sarah turned toward the hallway. It was empty. Daniel called from the kitchen. What? Sarah asked if he had said something. He said no. That was when Sarah saw it. At the end of the hallway, underneath the basement door, there was a thin line of yellow light, as if someone had turned on a lamp below. Sarah stood up slowly. Daniel came back from the kitchen and followed her eyes. The two of them stared at the door. The brass lock was still hanging from the handle, still closed, but the light underneath it was steady. Daniel walked toward it. Sarah grabbed his arm and whispered, "Don't!" But Daniel crouched down. He touched the lock, then immediately pulled his hand back. "Okay," he said quietly. "That is freezing." And then something scratched the other side of the door. One long scrape, from top to bottom. Daniel stood up fast. For the first time that night, Sarah saw real fear on his face. He said, "That's not pipes." Sarah opened the rental app and messaged Evelyn. There was no phone signal, but the cabin Wi-Fi worked. The network name was strange. The House, all capital letters. The password had been written on the welcome note, Quiet Guest 17. Sarah connected and typed, "We're hearing noises from the basement. There's a light under the door. Is someone else here?" The message sent. Evelyn started typing almost immediately. Then the reply appeared. "Do not open the basement door." Daniel stared at the screen. Sarah typed back, "Is someone down there?" The next reply came even faster. "The house is old. It remembers things. Go upstairs, lock the bedroom door. Do not answer if you hear knocking." Daniel stepped away from the phone. What does that even mean? Before Sarah could answer, another message appeared. "Turn off the lights." Daniel grabbed the car keys. "We're leaving." They moved toward the front door. Daniel unlocked it and pulled it open. and both of them froze. Someone was standing at the edge of the porch, a tall figure in a dark coat, motionless in the rain, its face hidden under a hood. Daniel shouted, "Hello?" The figure did not answer, did not move, did not even react. Sarah whispered, "Close the door." Daniel did. He locked it. And the moment the lock clicked, the porch light went out. Sarah looked down at her phone. Another message from Evelyn had appeared. "Do not leave after dark." Daniel tried to call emergency services. No signal. Sarah tried Wi-Fi calling. It failed. Daniel checked the windows. The figure was gone, but on the porch, rainwater had smeared muddy footprints across the wood. The footprints did not lead away from the cabin. They led toward the front door. At 11:13, the knocking started again. This time, it came from the basement door. 3 slow knocks, a pause, then 3 more. Daniel whispered, "Upstairs, now." They turned off every light except the flashlight and went to the bedroom. Daniel pushed the dresser in front of the door. Sarah sat on the bed, holding her phone so tightly her hands hurt. The rental app was still open. Then a new message appeared, but it wasn't from Evelyn. There was no name, no photo, just a blank gray icon. The message said, "Why are you in my room?" Sarah stopped breathing. Daniel took the phone from her. Another message appeared. "You're sleeping in my room." Daniel whispered, "How is someone messaging you through the app?" Sarah didn't answer, because downstairs they heard footsteps, bare feet on wood, crossing the living room, stopping at the bottom of the stairs. Daniel turned off the flashlight. The bedroom went completely dark. Then the footsteps began climbing. 1 step, then another, then another. Slow, careful, patient. Halfway up the stairs, they stopped, and a woman's voice spoke from the darkness. Softly, almost sadly, "You opened it." Daniel whispered, "We didn't." The voice answered immediately, "Yes, you did." Then the bedroom doorknob began to turn. The dresser held the door closed. The knob turned again, harder. Then came 3 gentle knocks. Knock, knock, knock. Sarah looked at Daniel. Daniel shook his head. Evelyn's warning repeated in both of their minds. "Do not answer if you hear knocking." Then the voice changed. Now it sounded exactly like Evelyn. "Sarah? Daniel? It's me. Open the door." Sarah almost stood up. Daniel grabbed her wrist. "That is not her." The voice outside the door became softer. "Please, you're not safe in there." Sarah's phone buzzed. A new message from Evelyn appeared. "Do not trust my voice." For a few seconds, everything went silent. Then the thing outside the door laughed. Not like a person, like something trying to remember how laughter sounded. Daniel leaned close to Sarah and whispered, "When I say run, we go through the window." The bedroom was on the 2nd floor. Below the window was the slanted porch roof. It was dangerous, but it was possible. Daniel moved slowly toward the window and unlocked it. The old wood stuck. He pushed. It creaked. The knocking stopped immediately. Then the door slammed against the dresser. Once. Twice. The dresser scraped across the floor. Daniel forced the window open. Cold rain blew into the room. Sarah climbed out first. Her foot slipped on the wet roof, but she caught herself. Daniel followed. Behind them, the bedroom door burst open. They did not look back. They slid down the porch roof and dropped to the ground. Sarah landed hard, pain shooting through her ankle. Daniel pulled her up. They ran to the car. Daniel pressed the unlock button. Nothing. He pressed it again. Still nothing. Sarah looked back at the cabin. The front door was open. A tall, dark shape stood inside. almost human, but not quite. Daniel used the manual key and got the door open. They jumped inside. He turned the ignition. The engine clicked, but didn't start. He tried again. Click, click, click. Sarah stared at the rearview mirror. The cabin door was empty now. The shape was gone. Then something tapped the back window 3 times. Knock, knock, knock. Sarah screamed. Daniel turned the key one more time. The engine started. He slammed the car into reverse and backed down the gravel road as fast as he could. The headlights swept across the cabin, and for 1 second, every window was filled with faces, pale faces, still faces, watching them leave. Then the cabin disappeared behind the trees. They drove for nearly 40 minutes before their phones got signal again. Sarah called the police. By sunrise, 2 officers escorted them back to the cabin. But when they arrived, the place looked different. Older, colder, abandoned. The porch light was broken. The black lantern was gone. The welcome note was gone. The basement door was open. Inside the basement, there was nothing. No lights, no footprints, no furniture. Just bare concrete walls, and 1 wooden chair in the center of the room. The police found no evidence that anyone else had been there. No forced entry, no hidden cameras, no second guest, no host. And when Sarah opened the rental app, everything was gone. The listing, the messages, Evelyn's profile, even the booking receipt. It was as if the cabin had never existed. But Daniel still had one thing: a video. Somehow, his phone had recorded 8 minutes during the night. Neither of them remembered pressing record. For the first 7 minutes, the screen was black. Only audio. Rain, breathing, knocking. The voice outside the bedroom door. Then, in the final minute, the camera moved, slowly, as if someone had picked up the phone. The screen showed the bedroom from the corner. Sarah and Daniel were crouched near the window. The dresser was still against the door. The door was still closed. But behind them, standing in the room, was a woman in a white nightgown. Her face was hidden by the darkness, her head tilted slightly to one side, and she was whispering the same sentence over and over. "You opened it. You opened it. You opened it." Then the camera turned toward the mirror above the dresser. In the reflection, the room was full of people, standing shoulder to shoulder, silent, still, all staring at Sarah and Daniel. And every single one of them was smiling. The video ended with 3 knocks, not from the door, not from the floor, from inside the phone. Sarah deleted the video the next morning. Daniel begged her not to. He said it was proof. But Sarah said proof did not matter if nobody believed them. Before deleting it, she took one screenshot. The mirror, the room, the smiling faces. For months, she never looked at it again. Then one night, she finally opened the image, and that was when she saw what she had missed. In the back of the mirror's reflection, behind all the pale faces, there was a small, dark green door, the basement door. And standing in front of it was Evelyn, smiling, holding the black lantern. Then Sarah's phone lit up. A new notification appeared from the rental app, a message from a host. It said, "Thank you for staying with us." Then another message appeared. "Would you like to book again?" Sarah threw the phone across the room, but the screen stayed on. And from somewhere inside the speaker came 3 soft knocks. Knock, knock, knock. So if you ever book a remote cabin online, and the host gives you a rule that sounds strange, follow it. Do not laugh. Do not investigate. And whatever you do, Do not open the basement door, because some houses are not waiting for guests, they are waiting for witnesses. And some places only let people leave because they know the story will bring others back.